Okay, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillahi wa kafa wa salamun ala ibadihi alladhina istafa amma ba'd. If you remember, we were going through the hadith number 15 of Arba'in Nawawiyya. And Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said in this hadith that the one who believes in Allah and the last day should say something good or remain quiet. Man kana yu'minu billahi wal yawmil akhir falyakul khayran aw liyasmut. Say something, speak good things or keep silent. And then Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, Man kana yu'minu billahi wal yawmil akhir falyukrim jarahu. Whoever believes in Allah in the last day should be good and generous to his neighbor. We talked about these two parts of the hadith, and the third part of the hadith is remaining, which says, Man kana yu'minu billahi wal yawmil akhir falyukrim dayfahu. Whoever believes in Allah in the last day should be hospitable and generous to his visitor. So this is the last point that we are going to talk today. We have taken the first point of the hadith and the second matter of the hadith. Let's go to the last one. Whoever believes in Allah in the day of judgment, let him be hospitable and good for his visitor and guest. Okay, should be courteous and, how do you say, courteous and generous to his visitor. Okay, so we are going to talk about the last part of the hadith. What it means to be generous and hospitable to his visitor. I said he should be kind and courteous to his visitor. This also means that one prepares food for the visitor and take care of his other needs, making sure that he's comfortable without extravagant or waste. Be careful when I said without extravagance and waste. That is very important. Sometimes you go as a guest to someone or visitor to someone, and they make a lot of effort and they fill the table with different type of foods and so on and so forth. That is not also good. It's not hospitality. It means sometimes, may Allah keep our intention good. It looks like showing off or meaning, yes, we should avoid the extravagance of waste. Obviously, when a guest or visitor is coming, you need to make a little bit extra effort than the normal days, but don't make it too much that if a visitor wants to stay there for a couple of days, he will assume that he's being burdened to the host. And I remember one of the famous, scholar, Persian scholar called Sheikh Sadi, and he has compiled a number of books and poetry. So he went to visit, I think, India somewhere, and the host was making extra effort every single day. Extra effort, extra food, extra effort. Then he was keep saying that Dawat Shiraz. He was praising the hospitality of the people of Shiraz. And the host would think that there's something, yeah, he might have fallen short or so he would increase. And every time on the table, Sheikh would say, our Dawat Shiraz is the best. Then the host asked, he said, Imam, you are saying, meaning from the first time, or the first food, you said that, and I was keep increasing, thinking I have fallen short. What's the beauty of the Dawat Shiraz? He said, look, you understood me wrong. The Dawat Shiraz is a simple one. In our culture, yes, any time a guest comes, we make one extra dish or something. We don't go beyond the board and start making number of things and prepare number of items and food. So he said that is the best one where the guest does not feel as he's being a burden to the host itself. Okay, I said this implies that anywhere a Muslim travels, he feels right at home when he comes upon his Muslim brethren. Be careful, the word I have used is visitor. I didn't use the word guest. Because when you say guest, it implies that someone is your relative or so come as a guest to you. But when you use the word visitor, it implies that someone is traveling. Not necessarily he's your friend. Not necessarily he's your visitor. He's your guest or relative or so. A visitor, a traveler, a Muslim. he also needs to be taken care of. So whenever a Muslim travels, he will feel right at home when he comes upon his Muslim brethren. Then they will take him in and give him his full rights. And this increases the feeling of brotherhood and love among the Ummah as a whole. So that's what means being hospitable and being generous to one's not only guests, let's say visitor. Okay, I mean this aspect was of extreme importance in the beginning, meaning not in the beginning only, let's say 30, 40 years ago. Throughout the century, this was very important because the shops were very few available. The hotels and restaurants were not that much widespread. So the visitors would rely upon the help that they will get from the local people. Local people. But nowadays, nowadays maybe you go to one country, other city, you got hotels, you got restaurants, you got money, you got cars and this and that. Still, meaning yes, this aspect may have become less significant nowadays, but still we have to be generous whenever we have some visitors, whenever we have some guests. Okay, let's go to the other point. Then I said, is this meaning, is it something obligatory? Should be courteous and generous to his visitor? Then I said, sorry, is this obligatory or voluntary? Meaning, is it obligatory to be generous and to be hospitable to the guest, or it is just only recommended and voluntary? Pay attention. There's a difference of opinion about whether or not this is something of the hosting of a guest is obligatory or greatly recommended voluntary act. Whether it is obligatory or emphasized recommended act. Okay, there are some scholars who have regarded it as obligatory, like Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal and Layth ibn Sa'ad. Okay, some of the scholars they said that it is obligatory. And before going to yes, before going to this discussion, let me mention a beautiful hadith. Okay, before talking about whether it is obligatory or recommended, let me mention a hadith. And this hadith is recorded in Bukhari. Prophet ﷺ said, the one who believes in Allah and Day of Judgment, فَلْيُكْرِمْ ضَيْفَهُ. Let him honor his guest. Okay? And then Prophet ﷺ said, جَائِزَتُهُ يَوْمٌ وَلَيْلَةٌ. Let him be generous to his guest. His jaiza means special gift is one day and night, meaning special entertainment, special treatment is for one day. So when a guest comes to you, so the first day is special treatment. And then Prophet ﷺ said, وَالضِّيَافَةُ ثَلَاثَةٌ. He is to be entertained for 3 days. He should be entertained for 3 days thereafter. Some people said the first day is included, and some scholars say no, the first day is special. Thereafter 3 days he should be entertained. وَلَا يَحِلُّ لَهُ. And then Prophet ﷺ said, فَمَا بَعْدَ ذَلِكَ فَهُوَ صَدَقَةٌ. Meaning whatever is beyond that, beyond 3 days, or if we take the first day, special day, as meaning as excluded, then it will be 4 days. The Prophet ﷺ, beyond that, it is a charity. Beyond that, it is an act of charity. Meaning if someone is staying more than 3 days or more than 4 days, then and you're being still hospitable, you're being meaning it is not obligatory or highly recommended. You are doing an act of charity upon your guest. And but Prophet ﷺ said, لا يحل له أن يأتي عنده حتى يخرجه. It is not lawful for a guest to stay with his house to the point that he makes things difficult to him. So be careful. Don't make it things difficult to your house. 3 days, yes, after 3 days, if you are staying there, it is a charity that is meaning it is not his responsibility anymore. It is being staying generous, he is doing favor upon you, and one should not make things harder. Okay, let's come to this point. Is this obligatory or voluntary? So some scholars said it is obligatory, especially Imam Ahmad and Lai. They said the first one is obligatory. First day is obligatory, which Prophet said it is a jaiza, meaning it is a special gifted one day and night. Some of the scholars said it is obligatory not only first day, altogether 3 days, and some say altogether 4 days. Why is the difference 3 days and 4 days? Because of the wording. The first day is special, and the diafa, and he should be entertained 3 days. So some people include that one, and they say altogether 3, and some people scholars say 4. Okay, so there's another opinion that says that he should be entertained 3 days. It is obligatory. And where's the dalil? The dalil is the hadith that I mentioned, Bukhari one. First day is a special gift. He is to be entertained 3, and then Prophet said thereafter is the sadaqah. Meaning the first 3 days is obligatory and charity is thereafter. And there's another hadith as well. Let me mention this hadith. And this is also hadith of Sahih Bukhari. Ukhba ibn Amir radiallahu said, O Messenger of Allah, you send us to some, meaning, O Messenger of Allah, you send us out either to collect the zakah or some other important task. So Prophet Ukhba ibn Amir said, O Messenger of Allah, you send us with different tasks. And what happened? Then we have to stay with some people, and sometimes they do not entertain us. What is your opinion of the matter? The Prophet said, if you stay with some people and they entertain you as they should do to a visitor, accept it. If they are entertaining you as they meant to do, accept it. But if they do not do so, then you should take from them the right of the visitor, which they owe to you. Meaning you should take it. For example, they're not showing any generosity, any hospitality. You should take, for example, if there's a garden and got fruit also, you should take what you need in order to eat and survive. So this is again in Sahih Bukhari. So this hadith also tells us that it is important to look after the visitors and guests, and if the local people are not it, then he has the right to take it, what he needs. Okay, so that is the first opinion. However, the majority scholars are of the opinion that this hospitality and generosity is a recommended act, meaning if someone is not being hospitable to the guest or to the visitor, meaning, yes, he won't be sinful. He won't be sinful because this is highly recommended act. But, okay, but see the screen, I said Imam Shawkani has presented a number of arguments to prove that the opinion stating that the hosting is voluntary and not obligatory is an incorrect opinion. So he condemned the majority, the opinion of the majority of the scholars. He said the opinion that says this is voluntary is incorrect, and he gives dalil. Let us come to the dalil, to the evidence. He says first, he indicated that there is no evidence that the hadith of Uqba was related to the early period of Islam only. He said, look, those people who say it is voluntary, they answer the hadith of Uqba ibn Amr, the last hadith that I mentioned, that if they don't entertain you, you have the right to take what suffice for you. They said, look, this hadith is authentic of Sahih Bukhari. So those people who say it is voluntary act, they said that was at early time when, meaning it was in the early period of Islam when people used to be poor and sharing the wealth and extra things was highly recommended. So Imam Shawkani said there's no indication to say that the hadith was related to the early period of Islam. Another dalil. So what he's saying, he says that the opinion of the scholars who says it's obligatory is strong one. Another dalil he said that if the people can take the provision themselves or request it, there is a clear sign that it's obligatory. He said the hadith said the Prophet said, take it what you need. If they're not giving, it tells that it is obligatory upon the people to entertain you and look after the visitor and guest. Third dalil. He said the Prophet ﷺ has made this is a sign of true belief in Allah and last day. Prophet ﷺ connected it with the Iman. He said the one who believes in Allah and last day, let him be hospitable to his guests. So he said that the connection with the Iman implies that one who does not do it is not a true believer. So he said it is obligatory to look after it. And the fourth dalil, he says that the fact that what is beyond those 3 days is called sadaqah or charity is a clear sign that the previous days is not sadaqah but an obligation. Here another dalil from the hadith. Which hadith? I mean the hadith that says that first day is a special gift, the 3 days he should be entertained, and day after it is a charity. He says that the hadith tells us that the first 3 days is obligatory because Prophet said that day thereafter one is a charity, which means that the first ones are obligatory. Okay, I said although it is the opinion of a small minority of the scholar, it seems that this is the strong or this is the meaning. Yeah, it seems that the strongest opinion is that is it obligatory. Okay, let's move to the other issues. So is the issue of is clear? Okay, so I said although it is the opinion of a small minority of the scholar, it seems that the strongest opinion is the view that the hosting is an obligation, in particular for the first day and night, upon the one who has the excess means to do so. So the first day, I would say even the 3 days is obligatory, and thereafter it is a charity. Okay, let's go to the other points related to this hadith. Okay, can you see the screen? Other points related to this hadith. Number one, in general, human beings are social creatures. Out of necessity, they have certain relationship with other members of society. Islam seeks to make sure that these relationships are guided by sound principles. Islam teaches that one should restrain one's tongue from harmful speech. Islam also teaches that one should be generous and kind to one's neighbor and visitor. These principles go a long way in making sure that society as a whole is united, cooperative society. So these three instructions given the Prophet ﷺ, if the Muslims, meaning if they act upon this, it will make the whole society united, cooperative, and healthy, sound society. Because everyone is taking control of the tongue, and everyone looking after the guests and looking after their neighbors and being good to them. Okay, let's move to the other issues. Okay, restraining one's tongue is truly a sign of complete faith. I said Al-Fudayl ibn Iyad, one of the famous scholars of the 2nd century. He said days, and he might have lived in the 3rd as well, in the beginning of the 3rd. He said, there's nothing, Fudayl ibn Iyad says. What did he say? The restraining one's tongue, he says, there's no hajj, no guarding the enemy lines, and no jihad, which is more difficult than restraining the tongue. He said hajj, guarding the enemy lines, and ghazwat. He said there are no, meaning nothing is more difficult than restraining the tongue. Taking control of the tongue is more important, more difficult. Number 3, there is no source whatsoever for being silent as an act of worship, as some Sufis and Christian monks do. Such an act is a heresy and cannot be considered pleasing to Allah. For example, you find some people are deliberately going to Buraq. They lower their head and they are quiet. Okay, if they are quiet and reflecting upon hereafter, reflecting upon their remove and sins, and reflecting upon the greatness, and reflect upon Jannah and Jahannam, and at the same time seeking forgiveness from Allah, so that's okay. But just saying I'm not talking and as an act of worship, so there's nothing being silent there regarded as an act of worship in the Sharia. Some Sufis and Christian monks do so, but it is a heresy and cannot be considered pleasing to Allah. Last point I said, according to many scholars, the obligation of fasting does not extend to evildoers and heretics, meaning you know someone is drunk or someone is known to be drunk. He comes as a guest to your home. Yes, meaning be good, speak good to him, and if you can give him nasiha, that's fine. But it is not obligatory upon you to host him and to entertain him. Basically, because Prophet ﷺ said it, do not be a companion except to a believer and do not have anyone eat the food except a pious person. Meaning these people, believing person and pious people, yes, they have the right to be looked after. Someone known to be, when we are saying evil person, evil doers, heretics, those who are known, openly committing sins. So it is not obligatory for us to entertain them and look after. Okay, by this we finish the hadith number 15. And still we got, yes, still we got 15 minutes. So let's go to the hadith number 16. Let me bring the hadith number 16. Okay, by the way, any question? Boys, any question regarding the hadith that we have taken? Can you hear me?
Yeah, that's fine, Sheikh.
Fine. Okay, so stay tuned with me for further 15 minutes or so. Let's take the next hadith. Okay, it says hadith number al-hadith al-sadis ashar, meaning hadith number 16. Let me correct. Al-hadith al-sadis ashar, hadith number 16. Okay, can someone read the hadith? Can you see the hadith? Is Hamza with us? No. Okay, let me read both. عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه أن رجلا قال للنبي صلى الله عليه وسلم أوصني قالت لا تغضب رواه البخاري. On the authority of Abu Hurairah رضي الله عنه, a man came to Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم and said, أوصني, O Messenger of Allah, أوصني, advise me, give me some advice. Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم said, do not become angry. لا تغضب, do not become angry. رواه البخاري, authentic hadith of Sahih Bukhari. A man came to Prophet ﷺ saying, Awsini, O Messenger of Allah, advise me. Qala, Prophet ﷺ said, La taghdab, don't become angry. So this hadith is a short one, and meaning the wording is short. There are the same hadith we found in another collections which have a little bit detail. The man came and said, O Messenger of Allah, advise me, and give me an advice that it is short and easy to memorize and easy to comprehend and act. Prophet said, okay, we are looking to some comprehensive and compound. So this is la taghdab, don't become angry. Then man thought this is a very what we say, very simple advice given. He asked something more. He said, okay. He kept asking more, and each time Prophet 3 times he repeated with the same advice: don't become angry, don't become angry. So that shows that this is a very important advice the Prophet has given, because he was keep asking for more and more, but Prophet saying, no, this is the advice that you need, don't become angry. Okay, so let's go to the general comment of the hadith. Boys, can you see the slide? No?
No, Sheikh. No. Can't see it. Just
So boys, just be vocal. I forgot to share. Okay, now, yes.
yes, it's showing now. It was showing earlier, but then it went off.
Okay, so the hadith is hadith number 16, and let's say general comments about the hadith. I said this is a far-reaching and very comprehensive advice. Indeed, it was. And even the extra wording of the hadith tells us that even though he asked for second time and third time, they say still Prophet ﷺ gave the same advice. According to some, anger is the key to every evil. Although that must be considered an exaggeration, there is no question that much evil has its roots anger. There is no doubt that much evil that occurs in families and societies is because of anger. Sometimes you find in the house, husband getting angry over his wife and vice versa, and children, and sometimes in the mosque and society and gathering place. Yes, anger is the root cause for the much evil in this field. Hence, the Prophet ﷺ was showing a basic way to remain away from much evil when he said, don't get angry. And by the way, it is not advice for only that companion, it is advice for everyone, for all of us. Al-Haythami, one of the scholars, states that one cannot count the amount of good this advice can bring about and the amount of evil that this advice can prevent. And he's right. He's right. If you start counting the good that this advice can bring and the amount of evil that this advice can prevent, you mean much of good, you'll be able to count much of good and you'll be able to count much of evil that this advice can prevent. Okay. Then I said, do not become angry. What it means, do not become angry. Okay, let me make it big. Okay, do not become angry. So I said there are three possible interpretations for the statement of the Prophet. Two of these interpretations are based on the assumption that anger is something natural and beyond the control of human being. Okay, pay little attention. I said, do not become angry. La taghdab has been explained in three different ways. I mentioned the first and second and third. But I said the first and second interpretation based upon the assumption that this is something natural. They said, look, if it is something natural, Prophet ﷺ would not ask us to do, not ask us to not become angry. Because becoming angry is natural. Everyone gets angry at one point or other. So what it means when he said don't become angry, it means something else. So the first and second tafsir is based upon this, that this is something natural and Prophet ﷺ would not ask something that is beyond one's control. So what it means, don't become angry, something different. And the third one is normal. Let's take the first assumption, first tafsir. The first interpretation of this hadith is that the Prophet ﷺ is ordering the person. He's not saying don't become angry. Rather, he's saying to follow those means that keep the person from getting angry. Follow those means that keep the person becoming angry. Okay, that's it. A person should learn how to change his character and adopt the characteristics of generosity, kindness, calmness, modesty, patience, forbearing, forgiveness, easygoing nature, and so on and so forth. So is the tafsir is clear? They say what it means, don't become angry, meaning adopt the whole code of conduct of Islam, especially these generosity, kindness, modesty, patience, and forbearing, and the chance of your becoming angry will be reduced. That's what Prophet is saying. Okay, the second view or the second tafsir is this, that they said, look what Prophet said, don't become angry. Meant by the statement is that one should not act based on one's anger, or one should not act while angry. Don't do what your anger is asking you to do while you are in a state of anger. That's it. If a person becomes angry, he should fight himself not to do the deed that his anger would lead to.
Yeah.
Okay, boys.
Abdullah, man, Abdullah,
Arshad and other people, mute yourself. I'm going to conclude soon. Okay, I'm going to conclude. Mute yourself. Keep yourself muted, please. So is the second tafsir is clear. They say some scholars said what it means don't become angry, meaning don't act upon your anger. While you're angry, whatever your anger is asking to do, don't. Because you may do something silly and you regret later on. So what is meant is to control your anger. Don't act when you get angry. And this is again a praiseworthy act. Prophet ﷺ said it, لَيْسَ الشَّدِيدُ بِسُرَعَةٍ. And this is authentic hadith, by the way. I think it is in Bukhari Muslim. Prophet ﷺ said it, the strong person is not the one who is strong in wrestling and knock down his opponent. Rather, the strong person is the one who controls, is able to restrain himself while he is angry. So that's what is required. Control yourself when you're angry. Don't act what your anger is asking you to do. Don't act upon what your anger is asking you to act. Okay, the third one, Al-Baitar has a much more literal understanding of the hadith. He says that when a person is about to get angry, he must remain patient, control himself, calm himself down, and not get angry. So this is more literal meaning. Don't get angry. Meaning control yourself, keep yourself calm, be patient, don't get angry. He said that this is the meaning that comes to mind when one hears this advice of Prophet ﷺ, that a person should remain calm and he should handle the matter with wisdom and rationally and not become angry. Okay, so the first tafsir says, don't become angry means be good, generous, obedient, and adopt those qualities so you won't become angry. And the second says what it means to don't become angry, don't act upon your anger. The third one is more literal and more close. It says, control yourself, stay calm, don't become angry. And the example of the Prophet ﷺ, okay, before concluding, the example of Prophet ﷺ, meaning Prophet ﷺ set a good example, he would not become angry. And for personal interest, our Prophet ﷺ was best example for the Ummah. He would never get angry or take revenge for his own personal interest. He never struck any servant or any wife or anyone. And you remember Anas ibn Malik said, I served him for 10 years, he never hit me. Or never hit, meaning let alone hit him. He never said to me no for what I did, or he never asked me why you did something when I was told to do it. And once he was distributing some wealth, it looked like either Barbuti or charity or something, and a person said this is a distribution done, not done for the sake of Allah. He accused Prophet ﷺ that he is not following the pleasure of Allah in the distribution. Prophet ﷺ face became red, meaning he became angry, but he controlled himself, and he said, Rahimullah Musa, may Allah have mercy upon Musa, لَقَدْ أُوذِيَ بِأَكْثَرْ مِنْ هَذَا. He was harmed by way more than this, and he remained patient. Rahimullah Musa, لَقَدْ أُوذِيَ بِأَكْثَرْ مِنْ هَذَا فَصَبَرَ. May Allah have mercy upon Musa, he harmed more than this, and he was patient. So our Prophet set the example of how to control yourself or how to not become angry. And last thing, shall I continue or stop, boys? Yourself. I said how to remove one's anger. What are the steps to do in order to suppress your anger? You want me to? I have mentioned 4 things there too.
Yes, Sheikh. Yes, Sheikh. Just the last bit we'd like to hear.
Okay,
Jazakallah.
last bit, and this is a very important one. The steps that one needs to take in order to stay calm and control his anger. Okay, the Prophet ﷺ, by the grace and mercy of Allah, showed the steps that one should follow when one does get angry. These steps may even bring an end to one's anger, or they will keep one's anger from having any major damaging effect. Okay, either these steps will remove the anger altogether, or at least help him not to do anything silly and foolish while he's angry. Number one of the keys to remove keys to remove one's anger or controlling oneself while one is angry is to seek refuge in Allah from the influence and effect of shaitan. Say, A'udhu Billahi Minash Shaitanir Rajim. Say, A'udhu Billahi Minash Shaitanir Rajim. Because it is shaitan who is pumping you up, provoking you, making you get angry. So seek refuge in Allah from the shaitan. And I haven't mentioned the hadith here, but there's a hadith, authentic hadith, recorded by Bukhari Muslim, that they two people in the presence of Prophet ﷺ had a dispute and one got angry. Prophet ﷺ said, I know a statement that if he were to say what his experience would leave him, if he were to only say, A'udhu Billahi Minash Shaitanir Rajim, and seek refuge in Allah from the Atta Shaitan. So this is something very important. Whenever you feel that you're getting crazy, not even crazy or mad, even little bit anger, say, A'udhu Billahi Minash Shaitanir Rajim, and Allah will help you control the anger, remove your anger. Number two, I said the position that one is in also affects how a person is going to act upon his anger. There are some positions that build up more energy and give one more of a chance to act. Hence, the Prophet ﷺ said, if one of you gets angry while he's standing, he should then sit down. This should remove his anger from him. Otherwise, he should then lie down. Some scholars understand this hadith to mean that in the sitting position, one has less ability to fight or carry out an action in anger. A person even has less ability while lying down. Meaning when you're standing, and let's say you're someone in front of your face and abusing you or saying something bad, there's no chance that you may give him a punch or so. Because you're also standing and he is just in front of you. But if you're sitting and if you're laying down, there's less chance because it will take an effort for you to do so, stand up and get up, and by the time, yeah, you may realize the situation control your anger. So this is very important, very simple. Okay, and as I mentioned, there's a hadith Prophet said. Number three, the Prophet also gave another very important command to the one who is angry. He said when is angry, he usually makes the situation worse by the words that come out of his mouth while in a state of anger. The Prophet said, if one of you becomes angry, he should remain quiet, he should remain silent. إِذَا غَضِبَ أَحَدُكُمْ فَلْيَسْكُتْ. When one of you is angry, don't say anything, be quiet. Okay, this is recorded by Ahmad and others, and according to Albani, Sheikh Albani, it is Sahih. So this is very important. If someone comes to argue something, say, I'm not in a mood to discuss later. Later we'll talk about it. Don't be dragged in an argument or dispute or discussion event when you're in a state of anger. Say, it's not good time. Sorry, some other time. What happens when you're angry and you may utter something and then you regret it later on? Obviously, when you have said something, you are not in control. The words have already came out. You cannot bring them back. You cannot undo it. And even you apologize or so off apology, it's not the same. It's not the same if you haven't said it. It will be very difficult. Okay, the last thing, finally, there's a hadith that says, really anger is from shaitan, and surely shaitan was created from fire, and only water puts out fire. Therefore, if one of you gets angry, he should make ablution. Okay, use water, make ablution. And recorded by Ahmad and Abu Dawud this hadith. And I think scholars have differed regarding this hadith, whether it's authenticated or not. Okay, so these are the 4 steps. Seek refuge in Allah, change the position. Don't utter a word. And finally, use water wudu. And the other thing I would say that leave the place as well. Leave the place. If you're angry upon someone of your household or so, yeah, go out for a walk. This also helps because if the person is in front of your eyes, and the argument is keep going on, there is a chance that you may say something or do something foolish and you may regret. So it is good to leave the place where the argument is taken. Any questions, boys, before we conclude?
No question, Sheikh.
Okay,
السلام
subhanallah,
عليكم.
la ilaha illa anta, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.